morning. The room number of participants are growing. That's good. Today we will have a great webinar where many of us, I hope all of us actually, will get the answers on your burning questions. And I hope after today's webinar, we will have a better clarity and understanding what we are trying to do, where we are going, how it will help our community, how it will help us to continue the work that we do. All right. So we have received quite a lot of questions, and we have summarized them. Well, not me personally, but questions. And during today's webinar, they will try to answer all of them. We have time, 1.5 hours. So we will try to fit in this timing. If there will be a need to continue such webinar, then we will do that. But today we will have 1.5 hour webinar. I do recommend for you guys to listen to the webinar till the end, like to the presentation till the end, and then write all your questions, and write your questions please in a Q&A box, so we are not missing out on all of your questions that will pop up in the chat, because if you do that in a chat, we may not answer on it. So please put all your questions in a Q&A box, and then at the end of the presentation, when all the questions will be answered, the ones we have, we will go through the questions that you will ask during the presentation. Please listen carefully so you don't ask the questions which will be answered during the webinar, all right? Because this is what happened in the past. You connect in the middle or you do other stuff, and then at the end of the webinar, okay, it's a Q&A time, let me ask the question. But the question has been answered already during the webinar. So please, let's be focused on this 1.5 hour and listen carefully, all right? So today I will be with you guys, Anete Martinsone. I'm a part of Evorich community, but we will also have two great gentlemen who will be the ones who will answer all your questions. Deyev, I hope I pronounced it correctly, who is the founder and CEO of Box, and Soulbound ID, and Shem, who is the Chief of Operations of the SEO Box and the Soulbound ID. All right, guys, so without further ado, I give the floor to you, and let's do the best.
Thank you, Anete, for the introduction. And yes, my name is Deyev, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at StockBox. And we also have here Ross, who is the Chief Operating Officer at StockBox. And we are co-founders of SOULB ID. So today we're going to speak about the questions, your questions on the Soulbound project, its relationship to the Evorich community, and about the StockBox and the plans overall. So yeah, let's start with getting more information about what we do, where we come from, and what is the background, like why we have decided to work to focus on digital identities on SOULB, and why we, for the last 4 years, focus on the subject of assets tokenization. Basically, you know this from the abbreviation of a security token offering. So that's something that we have focused for the last 4 years. And I would like to pass microphone to Ross, and he will explain in details what is the background of our company and why we moving towards digital identities.
Yep. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Anete, for your great introduction. And it is a pleasure to be here We have already conducted our first webinar last week, right? And of course, we understand that there are a lot of questions to be answered, and our expectations are to answer all of them during this webinar. So you're completely right. It will be great if the community members will listen carefully, and we are happy to answer all of the questions that were referred to us previously, right, during this period after the first webinar, and that will be posted now during this live webinar, and we will answer all of them. Right. I am I'm Ross Shemeliak. I am the co-founder and chief operating officer at Starbucks, and chief operations officer and co-founder at SOULB PRE-SALE. And before we start, because I saw the questions from the community members from Anete, that in regards who we are and what we have done and how we started this project. And to understand this, let me share with you information that will provide you the better picture where we came from. So Jean and I, we are the founders of Starbucks, right? And SOULB PRE-SALE, it is a sub-project from our Starbucks company, right? And in Starbucks, we are focusing on the tokenization of assets for the last 4 years. And at this moment, we are top 5 turnkey tokenization providers in the world. So what we do, we help private companies, common companies, right, to transfer the shares, the securities from paper to blockchain, to fundraise or to distribute through the existing investors. So we're dealing with the security tokens, and we are the top 5 turnkey providers. For the last 4 years, we did too much. We won an award like Best Tokenization Provider of the Year at Multi-ABC Summit. We won the award like Best Tokenization Startup of the Year based on the Hacker Noon voting. It is Tech Media. We are very actively contributor for the most progressive and famous association Crypto Valley in Europe. We are the member. Also, we are the member of Digital Finance Association, and we participating in roundtables with Dubai regulators about implementation of securities laws. Previously, for example, we worked with Maltese government, and we issued a book, physical book, about how to make their STO in a proper way with Maltese regulator, right? So we're very close and close working with a component authority about security tokens. And at this moment, we have more than 60 clients that believe in Starbucks and with whom we're doing their tokenization, right? And we have our range of services and we have our range of products. And we are top 5 providers in field of tokenization. That's why in the Dubai conference, we met Mila and Armand and started together our journey in respect of STO, and Starbucks, Jean and I and our team helping Crew and VCRU, right, with the transformation to do the STO properly and conduct it successfully, right? And also, I saw have seen question before about the community, that we don't have the community or where is our community. So please check out the Starbucks in social medias, in Twitter, in Telegram. And at this point, we have more than 60,000 community members. It is around 20,000 in Twitter, 5,000 in Telegram, more than 30,000 in our email database of our clients and our partners. So we have our big community of people that going through this long journey of tokenization with Starbucks for the last 4 years. And Jean and I, we are the founders of Starbucks, and we founded the SOULB PRE-SALE as a logical development of the Web3 industry. So it is about our milestones and about our developments. So I'm passing the microphone to Jean to start explaining the next slide.
Thank you, Ross. Yeah, next slide, perfect. I also kindly ask you, these are the QR codes. Check out the QR code. You will be redirected to the Starbucks main website where you have all the information on who are our clients, what we do, what are we focused, what is the team, what are our products, what are our services. So there you can find a lot of information, as well as about SOULB token. So I will go through the first part of the presentation quite quickly, because first of all, we have already explained this on our first webinar, but let me just remind you what a SOULB tokens are and where they're coming from. Probably most of you have heard about the NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So basically the NFTs that exist on the blockchain and may represent some information. Usually people are creating pictures and art and music and share this music. But the implementation of that technology may be a bit different. So and this is what we call a soulbound. So soulbound is the same NFT, but without a transfer function. You can't transfer a non-fungible token, which means that an identity, if we create and attach an identity on that non-fungible token, the wallet, your blockchain wallet, may be whitelisted for automatic Web3 procedures like tokenization. So a soulbound is a new technology which was first described by Vitaly Buterin and explained about Vitaly Buterin. But the main idea is that you can't transfer that token anywhere. Once it's minted, it's created on your wallet address. And it's not only that it may be an identity, it may be anything. It may be a word, it may be your education, any type of data that cannot be sold or bought or transferred because it's only yours, can be represented in this soulbound token, in a non-transferable token. So that's where the name comes from. So our soulbound ID is the technology that would whitelist blockchain addresses. Think of this as passporting blockchain addresses. A blockchain address is a very cold place to be. It has no human touch. It's just an address on the, in database, in the blockchain distributed database. But that address belongs to person, and the person does something with his life. He experienced something, and that person represents something. He may be an investor. He may be, this data can be stored and hashed in this token, and then wherever the person goes, this data will be hashed, but algorithms and smart contracts would understand that it's a decent person and not just any address. So that's the main point of a soulbound technology. I hope that's a bit clear for most of you, all of us. But Ross, please add if you think there's anything we can add here.
Yeah, sure. I will try to explain it as easy as I can, right? So what are the soulbound tokens? Guys, please write in the messages, right? At 10, if you understand what is NFTs, right? If you are familiar with NFTs. 10, it means that you're completely familiar. 0, that is a new word for you. From 0 to 10, if you know what NFTs are. 8. I see 8.
I see someone is spamming the chat, but that's...
Yeah, guys,
that's a different story.
Message in the chat if you understand what NFTs are. And if you heard about NFTs boom, about images on blockchain.
I think what I've done is block the chat. So yeah, they close the chat because
no problem.
they have these spams coming in.
Okay,
absolutely.
No problem.
Okay, let's
move
on.
So I will continue my explanation. So soulbound tokens, it is the logical development of the blockchain industry. What is blockchain? Blockchain, it is a ledger, data ledger, right, where we can store the information. Because now we can store this information in PC, or can store in central depository, it's store in Google Sheets. So it is the place where we store the information. And the blockchain is a technology where you can store something. For example, cryptocurrencies, it is the logical development of blockchain, because you can put your currency on blockchain, and it is cryptocurrency, right? For example, you can put on blockchain images, and it is NFTs. NFTs, it is pictures on blockchain, right? You can put, for example, shares or securities of your private companies on blockchain, and it is a security tokens, right? So we putting on blockchain some assets, right? And there are a lot of industries in blockchain that we have now, as I described, NFTs, images, right? The security tokens, it is shares on the blockchain, or cryptocurrencies, for example, it is currencies on blockchain. And what are the soul-bound tokens? Soul-bound tokens, it is an entity token, not NFT, but entity. Entity is a non-transferable token. And why we need soul-bound? And it doesn't mean it is a soul, and doesn't mean that I give a soul. So soul, it is a soul of your blockchain address, because currently on blockchain, you have a certain address of your wallet, right? And it is completely anonymized, right? But then anonymous, right? So the new era and new vehicle of development of the blockchain technology, it is to have the soul-bound tokens where you will have a track on your addresses, on your address, what you have done and what is your achievements, or what conferences have you visited. For example, I'm Ross, right? I have my blockchain address, and I have studied in university, and this university sent to me their soul-bound token that I was there. So if Anete will check my wallet, right, Anete will see that I was in this university. So it's like a badges, right? So in this case, I will have all my life record on the blockchain with my achievements. So it's like a CV of your profile on blockchain. So Anete can understand that I am a great guy, because I was in university in Switzerland, and I have visited recognized conferences and recognized people supporting me, right? And it is my soul of my blockchain address, right? And we going and we're moving forward. So what we done, right? We created on soul-bound technology, on soul-bound tokens, the identity. It's like a passport, right? Right? It is like your passport on blockchain. And you may have a question, why I need my passport on the blockchain, right? For what? Why I need so? And it is very important to understand that currently the regulation is coming to crypto. I am in 100% sure that you guys know about crash of FTX, of Terra, and a lot of bad things that are happening. And this is happened due to unregulation, right? That's why regulation is coming, and regulation, it is the future, and it is now, right? We can speak about it or we cannot speak about it, but it is here and it will be here, right? So there are a lot of legal nuances and there are a lot of legal authorities in Europe that is already created to check KYC and AML, right? To understand who are the people on blockchain in crypto and do they do their money laundering, right? And regulators want to make sure that it is clear, right? From clear jurisdictions, from clear processes. That's why regulation is coming. And what we've done in SOULB ID and why it's ID, we provide you the passport, because now you need your physical passport everywhere. You want to travel, you need to have a passport. You want to open a bank account, you need to have that the passport, right? Everywhere you need a passport in your physical life. The same will be with their IDs on blockchain. In the upcoming months, in the upcoming years, every your action in the blockchain, in DeFi, in some decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges, everywhere, you need to pass KYC and AML to confirm who you are and where you're coming from. And it is very important, and it is a fact. So we cannot talk about it just as it is, right? It is the fact that it is already here. And what we done, we issue and we prepare and we mint these passports, decentralized passports, blockchain passports for you to use in blockchain industry. That's why it is SOULB IDs, and that's why we're issuing the IDs. Please, Gene.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. Anete, if we have any questions, please ask. Maybe there's a community questions. Otherwise, yes.
Let's continue, and we will, whatever questions will pop up from community, we will answer afterwards. Otherwise, we need to see how much time we need to answer the one that we have already. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Ross, because you gave an outline of not only the background of SOULB tokens, but the utilization of SOULB tokens. And these non-transferable units on the blockchain, they may be used differently. So, and of course, when we say so, we understand that they're using in the Web3, in a decentralized. So we call it the decentralized environment. And you can use this token, first of all, to access a regulated environment. For example, like security tokens. So you can't have a security token, buy a security token. It's a share. Remember, you can't buy a part of the company being anonymous. There's no legal framework for that. It's illegal in a sense that a business owner always knows who are the investors. So in order for them to know, these people have to pass KYC. But when you pass this KYC in the beginning, when you get your ID, your passport in the beginning, then you can go to any blockchain environment. Let's say there's a company X selling and offering real estate, tokenized real estate. There's a company B offering, revenue share of some mining activity. There company C, and we have, again, as Ross said, we have 60 more clients. So every of our client has, not only our client, we have a lot of partners, and we're building this ecosystem where you will have this your identity. Everybody has this identity, which means that these people can access different applications, decentralized, and everybody would understand that these are decent people from different countries that represent either their public investor or their accredited investor. What are the limits? So there certain will be rules, because rules attached to people. And this SOULB ID by us is exactly what we need to basically whitelist all the operations on the blockchain. And this is what I'm telling about the private investment deals, because you don't need to pass KYC many other times, and you can be already approached. So because, let's say again, we have an opportunity of tokenized real estate. In a normal case, like how it works now, people have to find about this opportunity, register, get past their KYC once, second times, yeah, got it, good, 3 times, and but with us, you just only do it once. And it also unlocks things like decentralized societies, DSO, and building networks and relation networks and marketing networks on the Web3 using referrals. That also is an opportunity that Soulbound gives us from the utilization standpoint. Ross, if you have any questions or something to add, otherwise we'll move on.
Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Yes. Okay. Yep. As yep. Also, yeah, you wanna add?
Yeah, let me start. Let me go through the slide about the regulation of crypto. Guys, we in Starbucks, for the last 4 years that we work in tokenization, we conducted 55,000 of hours of research of different nuances, regulation, cases, pitfalls, corporate structures. So we completely understand what is going on, and that's why we created the SOULB ID. because we understand where regulation is coming, right? And we understand the pain and the problems of big players in DeFi industry, as well as challenges of investors, because you are the investors, right? You must have a one access to all of the market participants to be able to invest easily, right? Without any restrictions and without any borders. That's why we created the Soulbound ID. And in respect of regulation that I mentioned in the last webinar, regulation is coming. For example, in Europe, they are already created the AMLA. It is AML global regulator in Europe. So all of the transaction in DeFi, for example, in Uniswap or PancakeSwap, in any decentralized exchanges, will be monitored if the transaction will be above 1,000 euro. It is a fact. It is fact, right? We know about it. So it is, for example, completely crashed the business of 1 inch of the biggest decentralized exchange. Why? Because they are not ready. We are ready as a Soulbound ID. They are not. That's why we're providing for them the SOULB ID and providing the possibility to you to participate in our activities and join our company, right? And join and use our token, because we understand, big guys understand, and not many people understand it now, because not many people reading every day the news about the regulation, right? That's why we understand where it's coming from and what will be in the upcoming months and how the people will use SOULB ID. So regulation is here. Regulation will be with us, right? And we capture this moment and we provide the compliance for the investors who will invest now and in the future in all of the project, or will use any of their products in DeFi, in decentralized finance, as well as for big companies that currently doing a business in DeFi, but have problems with upcoming regulation. It is a big challenge for them. Because, for example, if this legal enforcement will be in 3 months, what will 1 inch do? They cannot, they don't have the technical ability to stop the transaction now, right? It is a problem for them. It is crashes their business. That's why SOULB ID solving the problem for them of the compliance, because we will check all of the investors' KYC, will provide the one ID, one passport that you will be able to use in DeFi, right? And now you have the chance and possibility to participate in our early round to be able to have your decentralized ID and be compliant in this upcoming regulation.
Thank you, Ross. Let's move on to the next slide. We don't have much time. It's okay. So let me go through the main type of identities that we have. So again, as Ross said, think of this as a white label like passports, and we have 2 types. One type is for personal usage, and the second type for companies, because companies may, first of all, they also be investors. Of course, there's a corporate investors when a company invests in a company. And secondly, a company may do tokenization as well. But let me start from the very beginning, where it says personal Web3 ID. So that's a simple badge, that's a simple identity that is being created on the ERC20 and then the years on the EVM, Ethereum virtual machine based networks. And that identity, the personal Web3, it includes your main KYC data points like name, family name, where you're from. You have to scan your passport once or driving license. And this information, I will tell you a bit later, this information is securely hashed with the provider. So we don't even touch this information. This information stores with accredited partner and accredited KYC international provider, like SumSub, for example. This is our partners for this. So, and we create this entity token with this data kind of being hashed. So when we say Web3 plus, that's a bit additional, personal additional information, mostly for accredited investors, or what is called professional investors, people who have to, those type of identity gives you much more limits, like up to $1 million of limit of investments. That is done mostly for high wealth individuals. And we see a lot of people like this. We have a lot of people like this coming to tokenization, to security token market, especially from US, from Western Europe. So there's a lot of people who would like to invest substantial amounts of money, but they need this kind of KYC proof. So that's exactly what we do.
Yep.
We have a business ID. That's a passport for a business, and the business plus, the Web3 plus, that's if your company would like to create security tokens, they need to meet certain compliance level. So these compliance levels are checked and verified, not by SOULB. They're verified by the accredited KYC or KYB providers, know your business, know your customer. So these providers, they check the data. And once the data is checked, they tell us on the API, they say, we have checked the data, it's all good. And knowing this, then our technology creates that digital passport on your address, and your address becomes whitelisted. So if your business would like to create security tokens, and again, we're talking about today, it's tons of businesses, and we know that the demand for tokenization will be, we're talking about millions of companies in the world will be leveraging tokenization within the next 3-5 years. We know how technology progresses. So this is a key element of the puzzle. You can't build anything unless you are verified to do so, unless you're a business or you're a person, like who is interacting. So this is why instead of blockchain just address interaction, we have people or business interaction. But this is exactly where this Soulbounds, where these passports are being used. And again, you can see at the roadmap, it's kind of tight because we plan to finish the whole development by the end of the next year. So which means that it's fully supportive multi-chain and fully supportive 4 types of IDs being embedded into DeFi and tokenization ecosystem of Starbucks. This already be done within the next 365 days. And I mean, that's kind of speed of our development. We do it, we do it with the Starbucks products. We have, I will just tell you more. We have launched one of the first DEXs, decentralized exchanges for security tokens in the world. We're the first one who launched it on the Binance Smart Chain. We're the first one. So we know the potential of this technology, and this is why we kind of decided to separate this specific technology from our Starbucks activity, because we could have used it as an inside kind of internal embedded technology. But when we looked at this, we say, no, that's worth a separate name. That's a separate entity. That's a separate business. Because now we're talking about millions of people that will be interacting on the blockchain, and there's hundreds of businesses that interact on the blockchain. So they have to have this passport. That's why we separated the business and now sharing it with you. Let's move to the next slide, please.
1 second, please. And can you, this
Okay.
last slide before we go to the exact question. And what we can see here, the different identities of Soulbound tokens, right? Personal identity, Web3 ID, Web3 ID plus, business ID, business Web3 ID plus, right? We see a different packages of the SOULBs that will be minted in the future. And what I want to mention, and it also answering the questions that I have seen before, right? I will explain you one thing, right? Look, we in Starbucks for the last 4 years, we have a lot of partners, our network partners that we can use in our workflow. For example, we partnered with Stobox with Fireblocks company. It is #1 custody solution in the world. We partnered with some sub company that do KYC for Binance and for a lot of other vendors. It is also top 3 KYC providers in the world, and that will do the KYC for Soulbound ID as well. We partnered with Crystal company. It is a KYT, Know Your Transaction provider, top 2 in the world. We are partnered with SignSoft company that do the audits for Microsoft, for Nestle company, and that do audit for us. We partnered with Metis blockchain, and Metis blockchain founded by Vitalik Buterin's mom. And we speak directly to Vitalik Buterin's mom about our collaboration in respect of Stobox, right? And what I'm trying to say that we can use this network for Soulbound project as well, because it is sub-project of the Stobox. And what Jean mentioned, that all of the KYC checks will be done through the SumSub, the most recognized provider in the world. So we, me, Jean, Anete, Mila, Armand, we will not see your private data. We will not see your passport. It will be conducted through the license provider recognized by regulators and by Binance. We just provide the technology, the layer, the rails, how to do so, right? And what you see that we will have a different packages, $10, $15, $500 for the people and for businesses that will buy this identity. And why you need to participate now in the Soulbound round? Because you have now the possibility in the best terms, in the best price, to buy the Soulbound ID community tokens that you will in the future will be able to convert or to buy the personal web ID for $10, right? Or for $15. But if you will have more tokens, for example, 3 million of tokens, you will be able to sell them for all of the people in the world who will request to issue the Soulbound ID with SOULB ID project, right? Because we have million of people in blockchain and in Web3 that can use our identity. And now you have a chance to buy your tokens and the special terms to then to sell for all of the guys who want to buy ID and buy the passport, right? And you will have this chance. Moving to another slide.
Yeah, thank you, Ross. And also I want to add one thing, is that this personal web SOULB token, if you buy now package from $25 and above, that personal token will be minted to you for free. Once we finalize the technology this winter in February, we will open the KYC process, the minting process. So we will launch, and whoever buys now with the $25 or more, these emails, we know this, so you will be invited to pass and to get your personal web token SOULB for free. So that's we have included this into the packages.
Yep.
So yeah.
Just to clarify, so the personal ID token that we will receive, we won't be able to transfer or to sell. Absolutely. or no one will be able to see anything unless we give the access to this ID. Is that correct? And the tokens that we are buying right now from the back office, those are transferable tokens. Let's say they are sellable tokens to others who will want to buy this ID in the future, right?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I will just also clarify one thing. So when we say an identity token, of course, it's non-transferable. It's issued on the address, on the Ethereum address, on the Binance address, it doesn't matter, on the Ethereum virtual machine address. So it's there. We don't have access to data. And the person who gave this, who passed this KYC, he doesn't reveal this data before anyone. We have a group of a group of companies, a group of within our ecosystem that accept this standard. Because at some sub, you see the logo and at the left down of the page. Yeah. That's a some sub logo. These are KYC partners. They have the data. So we agree, like you say, that if some sub says it's a human, we believe some sub. So in our group, we do believe that some subs check the data well. And we just store this information on the blockchain. We're not storing the physical passport. We're storing the information that number of the person, that hash is validated by some sub. So if we want to go inside and find out who's that person, we will have to address to some sub through SOULB. So imagine a person does some AML, for example, crime. We will, if there's a fraud, people will be able to find out who is that person, which is impossible now on the blockchain. That's why Ross have told you about the regulation. So the regulation is about how we frame relationship on the blockchain, and this data is essential for that. Let me go through the questions that we have got from the community. I think some of these questions will be outdated because we have already explained a lot, but let's see how it goes. Yeah. What will be the data that should be in my ID and why I'm obliged to give it? Look, and what is that the guarantee that there will be no misuse? Look, again, SOULB doesn't hold your data. We don't have access to your data, and this data is being stored with a sub. Why am I obliged to give it? You're not obliged to give it. You can skip it. But if you go on the Binance, if you go on the OKX, you go anywhere, you go to your bank, everybody today will ask, give me a passport. And you will do the KYC. Probably most of you have no ideas where your documents are. People are used to sending these passports everywhere and anywhere. And Web3 is about how it can be changed. So we introduced the SumSub, which is a qualified provider, to get this document, to get your documents done, verify. It's a standard procedure. Again, I told you, it's passport details and where you come from and what's your name, and that's it. And your email address, so that can be verified. And this information is being stored. Nobody is using this data. Nobody is spamming you. Nobody is selling your private data, so that's for sure. And obviously, some sub and Soulbound are responsible for that. Mm-hmm. Based on what documents and jurisdictions can you request from people the data to make a digital ID? Look, there's a different levels of data that can be collected, but mostly for the financial operations, like general financial operations, it's a standard date, it's a standard passport. And again, you go into the bank, you take your passport, and it's enough. They don't ask you for the medical record, right? They don't ask you for your credentials, for your words. They don't ask you for your education. They don't need this data. They just need your passport data. So for the IDs, to make a digital ID, the passport would be enough. But passport or complementary, so the driving license or national card will also be used. And yeah, Ross, if you have anything to add, please.
No, you're perfectly right. So to sum up, that we're not storing the information, and Anete is perfectly right. It will be done through the recognized providers, and we provide the technology. And I see there some mentions in the chat. For example, people more worried about their personal data, so it's not shared without their approval. So look, man, what we currently see and what we are doing, right? We provide you the possibility to pass the KYC only one time and then use it in all of their Evorich and crypto unit ecosystem, and for all of the STO, for all of the STO of Stobox, and for other companies in the future. So currently, for example, it is an example. You need to pass KYC, for example, on centralized exchanges, on Binance separately. You need to pass KYC. Then another time in OKEx, then in Bitfinex. In all of the exchanges, every time you need to pass the KYC. And it is a problem. It is challenging. Every time you give your data to someone, you don't understand where is this data and why you do so. And it is challenging. 10 exchanges, 10 times KYCs, right? What we do in decentralized exchanges in Web3, because we are also believe that your data need to be with you, right? That's why after the big crashes of FTX, many people now understand tokenization and now understand Web3, because when you lose your $1,000 in FTX, now you Google how to download MetaMask and how to store your private keys, because you don't want to lose your money, right? And what we do, we issue the passport for you on the Web3 to be able to do so. Imagine, if you don't like, if you don't want to receive your physical passport, okay, man, sit at home, no travel, no Dubai, you will not travel to Dubai, you will not travel to US, sit at home and relax. If you want to travel, please get your passport and show to the visa officer, right? The same in crypto now and in the upcoming months. You need to have your compliance of your address, that you don't do the fraud, you don't do the money laundering. You need to have this compliance. And in the upcoming months, the same is in my example, that you need pass KYC every time for every exchange. The same will be indexes. You want to use the Uniswap, pass KYC. You want to use their PancakeSwap, pass KYC. You want to use the 1inch, pass KYC. And what we do, we provide you the ability to issue the ID one time, and then you will be able to access, you will be able to open the Web3 industry of Stobox project, of all of the STOs of Stobox, of Evorich products and projects, of crypto unit projects and other companies. And we provide this identity.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. That's the gateway to tokenization. This is exactly what we're doing. Next slide, please. How long is the pre-sale of SOULB tokens? Look, we don't know the exact the exact dates. I think we might finish before we planned, but it's planned to end in January 15th. But we'll see, with your support and with the interest that you show, I think that we might close the round faster than expected. So let's hope for that. I want to have more information about the medical card. I have concerns. Look, I understand a lot of people have concerns, and especially when we talk about sensitive data and the medical data. That's something we don't touch at the moment. Why we have mentioned this? For you to ask this type of questions and to understand that at some point, and we already know this, by the way, it's clinics in United States, I think it's in Atlanta, they started to store information, medical information, in a form of NFT, which is a very close of what we do with identity, but they store it with, it's a medical data on NFT. So it's not, don't think of this as an image of your lungs. No. It's not that type of NFT. NFT is a non-picture information that is hashed and attached to a blockchain address. So in this case, it's not the hospital that stores centralized the data of their patients, and it's not you who having this old paper ledger coming to your doctor and he scribbles some stuff on it. So it's a decentralized ledger where you and your docs store some information, but only you can access it. And this is an example of how Web3 can change, I would say change not only the business, but how the people's life, because you're storing this information with yourself and you don't lose that paper ledger or with all the history of your medical treatments. So again, we don't have it in the focus. We are on the technology side. We develop technology. We need identities because it's a part of the technological framework, tokenization framework that we need. We don't have a focus on medical IDs, but this technology is perfectly applicable for different usage, including medical. What about people who don't want to make Soulbound ID, but want to keep WCRU for future dividends? Look, I want to make this very clear. WCRU, crypto unit, and that business, they are also our clients. In a sense, they are Starbucks clients. So what Starbucks does for WCRU and for crypto unit, we help frame security token offering. We help frame legal and technical framework to meet the level of compliance, because nobody needs to have risks with security tokens. And to build a long-term business, when Mila and Marmans came to us, they approached us and said, guys, we're building a long-term business and would like you to examine how we have done our STO, and we would like to advise what could be done to avoid the risks. So we said, okay, that's good. We're focusing on this, and we engaged with on the agreement with WCRU and the company, and we said, okay, there's a set of there's a roadmap with a set of things that we have identified to do. WCRU will be deployed on a Starbucks dashboard on the EVM chain. So this transformation is that what Starbucks does. So I've you don't have to pass SBID to be a WCRU investor. That's your business with the crypto unit. But Soulbound will be used and integrated for all of the projects like WCRU, and we have multiple clients. So we would offer integration of SoulBID for those projects. Why? And this is a main question. Why? Because imagine investors that everybody got SoulBID can go to different environments. Remember what I told you, and participate, invest here, invest there, receive dividends from here, reinvest somewhere else. And this is because there's a multiple businesses. You don't need to pass KYC every single time. We are planning to have 300 clients next year. We're expecting in 2023, 300 next investment opportunities going into the Starbucks. Voila, hello. Like and these are different businesses, from real estate tokenization to real estate, but not from the small buildings, but people are building cities in Cyprus. We just came back from Cyprus. Yeah. So these are different investment opportunities. So you don't have to get a SoulBID to be inside WCRU. But if you have the SoulBID, you can seamlessly move around Starbucks ecosystem and participate anywhere you want. So that's, again, but that's optional.
Right. So long story short, yes, you need to have the Soulbound ID. Why? Because it will simplify in 100x for you, your actions and your documents, etc. So if you will have Soulbound ID, you will be able to participate in crypto unit STOs, in Evorich STOs, get dividends. It will be more simpler for you, because you will not need to pass KYC every time, everywhere. You will use Evorich products, Evorich STO, pass KYC one time and have access. The same with Stobox and the same with other vendors. So answering your questions, it is not necessary, but it is better to you. Not only better, you can also have a premium and have a benefit from it by participating in SOULB PRE-SALE. And we give to the crypto unit community this opportunity, this unique opportunity to participate now. I think
let's move to the next slide. We don't have much time.
Can I clarify this,
yes,
guys, before you go?
Please.
So do you say that in order for our community to get the access to the security token whenever it's going to be listed, we have a choice? Either we go through the standard KYC to get the access to the world crew, or we have the SOULB to get the access to the world crew. So we are not must have it.
No,
we have a choice, right? So if we don't have this SOULB token, then we will still have an access to the world crew tokens.
Yes, absolutely.
The KYC and AML, correct?
Absolutely. It's not a blocker. So you will be able to do whatever you're supposed to do. But with the SOULB PRE-SALE, you would now open a new opportunities. Let's call it this way. And also people who have SOULB from outside of Evorich community could now come into the crypto unit and participate in the WCRU. So it works two ways.
And I think people also get confused here when they say that they have passed the KYC for the Evorich. Guys, we will not list World Crew on Evorich platform where we have completed the KYC. Our token will be listed on a different platform, on external platform. So for that reason, we need to pass the KYC. Okay, don't get confused with different platforms, please.
Anete, and it is the key moment that we receive the question, that the question it is about the KYC passing in a different venues. That's why we created SOULB PRE-SALE, to not pass KYC in Evorich, in Stobox, I don't know, in 1inch, in Binance. You pass one time and you have the ID that gives you access. And of course, to be honest, it is a choice.
And this is a good thing, I think, because I have opened the account in many platforms, and now I have changed my passport. I have to go on all these platforms and apply my new passport on all of them, and I need to remember where. So with the SOULB PRE-SALE, I will do it once, and it will be automatically I will automatically continuously get the access to those platforms.
Yep. Absolutely.
And also, if you will not change this information because you forget where, how, you will have maybe the legal actions. Why? Because your passport expired, you provide the wrong information, and I don't know in what places, and it is a different regulation and different moments, and you worry about it because you have forgot it, and now you don't understand what it's meaning for yourself, because you cannot change it, right? That's why you can pass through the SOULB PRE-SALE one time and then give access. Of course, it is an option. If you have a time, if you like to check and fill out the forms, you can sit at home and done it 8 hours per day. But if you respect yourself, you can pass one time and then make your business and do whatever you want.
Let's move. We have a lot of slides to go and only 30 minutes left. Look. What is the difference between SOULB and Stobox token? Guys, there's two different tokens. SOULB is a SOULB utility token that is used in a product and project SOULB. Stobox token is used for mainly for the swap operations. More security tokens will have on our swap, more tokenization, more volumes, more demand on the Stobox token. So it's a utility token and like an exchange token. You buy it by Binance or Gate or usually centralized exchanges or even decentralized exchange. They have their utility tokens to pay for the commissions for the trading. We have the same. It's no brainer. So there's two different utility tokens: SOULB tokens that were on the pre-sale and Stobox utility token that is live. Why should we keep STBU tokens in our portfolio, which are also Stobox tokens? Look, guys, you don't have to. It's absolutely free will. I do believe in what we do. I believe in tokenization. We have issued tokens. Ross is a token holder. I'm a token holder, and we believe it for our. I mean, we stake on ourselves. Why would I invest somewhere else? Because we focus on very interesting topic of tokenization, and we are driving this innovation. So of course, I'm investing in my own company where I'm a co-founder. And of course, I'm promoting our activities, and Starbucks token is something that is an essential part. Again, more we have volumes, more tokenization, more we grow within times. Again, it's a very small market today. We're talking about hundreds, thousands access from the market perspective. Of course, I believe in Starbucks token. But again, you should. If you say why should we, you shouldn't. It's just a matter of your own desire.
Yeah,
One could be.
Sorry, a few comments and let's move on to the question about the white paper, right? Guys, please listen me carefully. I will explain you simple what is the difference between SOULB token and SWU token. Me and Jean, we are the co-founders of Starbucks that I mentioned, right, a few times during this webinar. And in Starbucks, we have our native token SWU of our products, DS Dashboard, for example, right? Where crypto unit and where VCRU token will be placed, right, in DS Dashboard. And it is our native token of Starbucks. And this token is listed on Gate.io. It is top 5 exchanges in the world. And it is our native utility token of our products. So Starbucks means SWU. SOULB ID means SOULB tokens. So Starbucks, it is SWU. SOULB, it is SOULB, right? And now you have a chance to participate in first phase, first private round, unique round, especially for crypto unit community with best terms, with best price of the first phase of our private round of our community token of Soulbound ID, right? Please, Jean, let's continue about white paper.
Yeah. Look, the white paper is being prepared. It's not ready yet. We have started the promotion of the technology. Now, why? Because we're implementing it for the Evorich. Not for the Evorich, but the crypto unit, for the WCRU. We're talking about the roadmap, and who are following the activity saw me on the webinars of crypto unit, and in the crypto unit there's a roadmap, and in the beginning of next year, the full STO will be live of the crypto unit. And because there's so many people, we have to come up with the technology for the crypto unit. So it's not something that we do, from outside. We deliberately did this for the crypto unit. So the first place where it's going to be used is the crypto unit. And because we're already implementing this, and we thought of doing, of course, utility token and promoting this, and fundraising and promoting our utility token, we started to do it now because there was no other option. So we didn't have much time to prepare from the white paper standpoint because we work on the technology. We have to deliver the technology side. So once that is done, we will come back to the more kind of literature part of the business and explain. What we're now explaining to you will be put on paper, because this is what we call a white paper. We have it in our brains. We're sharing it in a verbal form. So we'll have it done by in early next year. Next slide, please. Will SOULB tokens also trade on exchanges and be transferable to other once unlocked? Yes, of course. So the utility tokens once they will be unlocked, they will be on 2 types of exchanges. There will be decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, Pancake, but obviously on the DSwap. It's our venue, our decentralized exchange. So there will be a pair between SOULB token and the CRU token. There will be a pair between SOULB and tokenized dollar, SOULB and Starbucks tokens. There will be different pairs, and to have more engagement, so people from different communities may buy and sell digital assets of ours. And this is decentralized and centralized. As you may know, I'm not going to tease it at the moment, but we're good friends with Gates.io, and this is the exchange that Starbucks token is being listed since the beginning. So we assume that SOULB utility token will be listed on the Gate and enters the Gate community, which I'm not mistaken, more than 1.5 million users. So we will have that listing once we finalize all the roadmap, basically. Yeah.
Right. Short comment and moving to the next question. Regarding their SOULB ID and regarding SOULB token and their exchanges and tradability, right? Look, guys, after their lockup period, as you mentioned, of course, we will list their Soulbound token. Where? First of all, in the venues of Crypto Unit, on Crypto Unit exchange, it is also the option. Also, it is centralized exchange. Also in our Starbucks decentralized exchange DSwap, digital securities swap, we will list there the SOULB ID as well as in the future WCRU, right? And of course, we will list on others centralized and decentralized exchange. Centralized like Gate.io and others, decentralized exchange, it is like Uniswap and PancakeSwap, besides the DSwap and besides their Crypto Unit exchange.
Thank you, Russ.
Moving forward.
Some people who are into blockchain for more than 5 years and hold other STO tokens says that they don't need such digital ID. Why we need this? I think that question has been already answered many times. You don't need it if you don't feel the necessity of this. If you're, it's okay. It's okay for everybody. It's okay for us. But for people who do understand the value of this, we're welcoming you. So again, as we also mentioned, that there's no blocker, so you don't have to have a SOULB ID to remain the a Crypto Unit WCRU shareholder. Next slide, please.
No. Let me comment on that. Guys, it is very straightforward, right? For example, I see the question, some people who are into blockchain for the most 5 years and hold the offers of STO tokens said that they don't need such a digital ID. That I mentioned a few minutes ago. Not many people read about regulation and not many people understand where we're going on, right? They hold the Terra, hold the assets and FTX, and then the money is disappeared, right? We see these trends. We are not the newbies in the market. We are already 4 years and we are top 5 companies in the world that do tokenization. That's why we understand the pain, right? And to have this SOULB ID and to have the digital ID in general, now it is only the question of the time. Now they don't understand. Of course, okay, I cannot cover it, right? But doesn't matter. In a week, in a month, in a year, these people who currently don't understand will come and buy the identity in general, to have the identity in Web3 industry. And you guys who listening this webinar, you now understand what is it, why we do so, why you need so, right? That's why we can currently participate in our community token to have it to then sell for all of these guys who currently don't understand, who hold the STO for the 5 years and don't understand what's going on now, because maybe he have some ideas that was 5 years ago and now is 2022, right? And upcoming 2023. So it is possibility to you to buy, to participate, and then to sell for all of these guys who don't understand, because you understand. Moving forward.
Thank you. Let's move on. Okay. Some say that 25 SOULB tokens can be received for free by registering. Look, we have a ballot, which means that it's a Swift widget. Unfortunately, I don't have a QR code here, but I will ask. We will share this with the community. That's that's a social activity, and I think that 25, it's an internal point. It's a marketing activity. It has nothing to do with the SOULB tokens. So look, the only thing that is very important to you to know is that if you participate in a private sale and buy utility tokens package for $25 and above, you will receive your free identity token. That's it. So that's so please do not confuse with that 25. It's $25 or plus for the package to receive a free Soulbound identity token. Will this structure Evorich be implemented in ecosystem of Starbucks? Of course not. We were two different companies. There's a community of Evorich community, with all the respect, and there's a Starbucks community. Of course, people are free to migrate, and there'll be people entering Evorich community from Starbucks and vice versa. We can't do much about it. We're happy about it, but there's no implementation where we force somebody to move or to migrate. Next slide, please. Thank you. Would like to know what is the regulation is for kids.
Great question.
Look,
by the way.
It is. I mean, you're thinking of the future, and that's good. Look, kids are not allowed to conduct financial operations unless they're 18. So because our Soulbound ID token and what we do is a very financial centered activity. Again, we don't do medical stuff. We don't do gaming. We don't do education.
Don't do yet.
Don't do yet. So for us, the life of our SOULB ID person starts from once he received the passports from he's 18 years old. Will the MLCI structure be copied to the ecosystem? Again, no, we're not copying any structures. I just want to let you know that Starbucks utilizes DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. So it's like we have it, you can check it, dao.starbucks.io. You can find this link on the website. This is the main stakeholders of Starbucks. So this is the people from community who have been issued a first beta version of Soulbound. We know who they are, and they participate by voting. So we think of doing a decision A or decision B. So we think that it's important to us, the community. So we go to our decentralized autonomous organization and ask, and the people vote for whatever we think, and we have the perfect knowledge, and this is how we do things better, because we always ask community. So we're not going to copy any structure, but we will develop our own Starbucks and Soulbound community based on the decentralized identities for people to help us and to help ourselves, because we're in one boat. We're all in one community, and if once SOULB becomes a leading product for the decentralized identity in the world, we'll all be a couple of bucks richer for that. So of course we are in the same boat for that. Can the Soulbound token be transferred peer-to-peer? Yes, of course. Once the lockup period is over, you can transfer any Soulbound tokens, any community, any utility tokens, of course, not your identities. Thank you. Next slide, please. Difference between SOULB community token and STBU. Is STBU a stable coin?
Yeah.
We have already answered this question. Yeah. Yes, please, Ross. I'm passing the mic to you.
I'm only sharing my thoughts that let's focus on the questions around their SOULB ID, because the next one is Starbucks utility, STBU, Starbucks security token shares, different from SOLX. Let's answer it quickly and not dive into the nuances.
We will be planning to launch, again, because we work on the tokenization, we're tokenizing everything that we find essential for tokenization. It's our business. So of course, the business of SOULB will be tokenized and shared between us and our investors at some point. So that's why we have a utility token and security token, but we're not talking about security of SOULB at the moment. We will speak about this next year. Once we run the business, we will see economics, we will do all the tokenomics, all the financials, and then we come up with the, with the security token. And of course, our utility token can be used to purchase and to swap for securities later on. When people register at Starbucks directly, will they afterwards be synchronized? Again, answer is no. Let's move on. I can't sell or transfer this token at all, or I can't sell it until I put my details onto it. Again, that's a bit of I think a person got confused. So again, two type of digital assets. There's a ID token, there's an ID passport. You can't sell it, you can't send it, you can't transfer it. It's yours. And there's a utility token. You can do anything unless there's no lockup. So once lockup is removed, you can do anything: sell it, buy it, transfer P2P. I don't know, go to DEX and sell it, swap it. Anything.
Yes. So what Jin means that once you will receive the entity token, your identity, your passport, it is non-transferable. You cannot sell your passport. If you will sell your passport, you will have a new challenges in your life. But the community token, that in what you can participate in your cabinet, right, in the infrastructure and coin set, of course, after the lockup period, you will be able to transfer it or sell it or send it, whatever you want moving forward.
Next slide, please. Who puts the data on the tokens and how? Again, who puts? You put. The people who register. They again, everybody went through the KYC process once in your life. Look, it's the same. It's no big difference. There is a frame. You pass the KYC once on the last stage. Once your KYC is passed, there's a happy face. Voila, that because you provided your blockchain address, magic happens, and this address has this SOULB ID token. And then you go to the login with your wallet, you go log into the STO, and you don't need to do anything else. That's it. And then you can double check what type of identity. It's an application that we're working on at the moment. Who verifies this data? Can I say that I am a queen of Great Britain? Yes, you can say, but I don't think anybody will believe you. That's a different story. Who verifies the? Look at the SumSub, a verified KYC provider. So they're licensed to do so. They're licensed not only to do the verification, but to store your data. Remember, we don't store your data. They store, because there's a GDPR, there's a different compliance, and there's a different regulations on how this data is supposed to be stored. That's not our business. We are working on the blockchain side on tokenization. So we leverage the best provider in the world and let them store the data. They know how to do this job, and we will do our job. Why do I need to buy a big package? I think I will pass this question to Ross. Ross, why people need to buy a big package?
Yeah, it is what I mentioned a few times during this webinar, during this AMA session, right? Look, more token you will have in a package, right? More discount and more benefits you will get. And if you bought the biggest package, what does it mean? That you have the best price with the biggest discount, and you have a lot of tokens, millions of tokens, that you can sell for all of the people that once we will create the technical infrastructure that will request to get the identity through the Soulbound token, because they need to buy the Soulbound token to be able to buy for the $10 the identity. And who has a tokens? You have a tokens, and you bought it in the best price, and you will be able to sell this amount for all of the people around the world who will request to buy a decentralized identity. Why? Because you was the first, you are the first, you now understand it, right? You spend your time during this webinar, you understand how you can use it, how you can benefit from it, and you will sell it for all of these guys, for millions of people around the world who are not currently with us on this webinar.
At a profit. Okay, how much information can we put on one token? I don't think that's a relevant question. Again, that's a passport information that's being standard KYC information. You don't put your essay, you don't put your notes, your poems. It's not about this, it's about financial data. Next slide, please. If the token contains data, doesn't the essence of the blockchain anonymity gets lost? Look, that's a very good question. And yes and no, because look, everything that we have at the moment on the Web3, everything that humans did was anonymous. And look what we have. Look at the curve of the industry. The adoption, look how it's like, I mean, people, you should understand that this is it's a very scammy world with that type of approach. So will that approach remain? Yes, it will. But if we want to have a stable investments, if we want a decent companies to move to the blockchain, we need to create a regulated environment. We need to create where people cannot just simply steal money from the Web3, rug pulling, and they tell that we got hacked, and and people are simple. They know the nuances, and the regulation are there to avoid problems, avoid rug pulls, avoid scams. And even though we see banks going scam in the world, but they are regulated. Imagine what would happen to the banking industry if anyone would be able to create a bank without any reporting. What will happen? And this is exactly what's going on with the blockchain technology now. So we don't say that the anonymity get lost. You want to play anonymous, stay anonymous. We're fine for that. But what we want to build and what we're building is the whitelisting ecosystem where different companies share their tokenized assets. And to play on that side, you have to at least to pass your identity to be a KYC person. So that's it's a kind of black and white. So if you want to be on the business side and be whitelisted, that's one story. If you want to remain anonymous and enjoy being anonymous, that's also fine with us. But yeah, I hope that's clear. Will these tokens accrue dividends? If so, will they come from? No.
Let me answer this question.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Jin. So at this point, we're talking about our community token, Soulbound ID, right? What I mentioned. You participate, you get your utility tokens, community tokens that you can convert to get your ID or to sell for the people who will request to buy this ID, right? In the future, we will, as Jin mentioned, we will tokenize a company itself, SOULB PRE-SALE, right? And will provide for you a possibility to invest and to get dividends from it, from the security token, right? Currently, we're talking about the utility token. So a utility token itself will not have the dividends because it is a utility community token due to the regulation. Here we cannot do anything, right? But in the future of security tokens that we will announce in the upcoming months, of course, you will have this possibility moving forward.
Yes. Where can I use the data encrypted in this token? How can I use it? Again, I think that's we've answered this question. You don't use this data. You provide the personal data to the KYC provider. This data is being kept, stored, and the hash of that storing being sent to SOULB within the token. So there's no data. You don't use the data. It's like it's being used on the blockchain. and capped with a specific provider. Yes, next slide, please.
Okay, so we have answered all of the questions, and it is the last slides of presentation. What I asking, let me finish this presentation, right, in the upcoming 3 slides, and then Anete, we can move forward with the questions from the community, and it will be great if you could deriger the things, right? So implementing dual token model, it is what I mentioned in the last question, right? So we have now our community token SOULB, right? It is our community token. It is a utility token. And in the future, we will have our security token SOLX, right? And now you have the possibility to participate in our community token. Security token we will announce later, but we include it in this roadmap, so you will have a picture what is our steps and what is going on. Now you can participate in the community token in the first phase of the private round, especially for crypto unit community. Moving forward. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Community token SOULB. Right. So our community token SOULB, in what you can currently participate, that have a utility. So through this utility token, the people can pay for the issuance of Soulbound ID. That's what I answered why I need to buy a big package, because you will have a big amount of tokens through which you can buy a lot of IDs. And if you bought one ID for yourself for $10, you will have a lot of tokens that you can share, that you can send, that you can sell for all of the people who will request to get their IDs, the passport for the blockchain. You can make the payment in our Stobox ecosystem and in Evorich ecosystem, right, as a way of payment. We will open the staking, farming, and you will be able to get the additional rewards. As well as in the future, you will be able to convert SOULB utility token to SOULX security token, right? And of course, you will have the governance, and you will be able to get the special investment limit allocation for the projects that we will announce, right? For the crypto unit project, for the Stobox project, because remember, we in Stobox, we're dealing with big companies that are doing tokenization. As Jin mentioned, in Cyprus, we will tokenize, it is a billion company, it is a project for $2 billion, right? We're currently tokenizing the company, the project in Qatar. It is also the million company, and we do tokenization for them. And you will have a special terms to participate in this offering, because you will have the Soulbound ID and you will have the Soulbound tokens. That's why you will have the special terms for all of these offerings of the big guys, as well as of Stobox and the crypto unit. And we have issued this token Soulbound ID. You can see displayed on the screens the total supply. We will support the Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum Smart Chain. We will support the Polygon and other blockchain as well. Next slide, please. Yep, Soulbound community, our round, right? We're starting at this moment from the first phase. We're currently on the first phase of private round. And now you have the possibility to take part and to be one of the first who can participate and who will have the ID and who will able to sell to other guys who don't understand what's going on, right? And you can see display the token distribution for the sale, for the reserves of the company, for the team, for the marketing purposes to promote it, right? For the liquidity. Liquidity means for the liquidity pool on DEX, on DSwap, or the amount of tokens to be traded on crypto unit exchange or gate exchange. So it is the liquidity for all of the exchanges. And DeFi activities, it is airdrops, it is share drops, it is a lot of activities that are prepared and that we will announce soon. And we're currently starting the first phase of our round that currently live. Once we close the first round, we will open the second, right? And if it will be, as Jin mentioned, in the upcoming months, we will do the first phase, especially for crypto unit community, especially for you, and you will be also able to participate in the second round. And in the public round, we will do the IEO IDO with a different price, much higher that you can currently participate and get, right?
2.5 times higher, not much higher, 2.5 times higher, because the average price now is a 1 cent. The next phase 2 average price is 1.5 cents. And the public round that we expect next year will start at 0.25, which means that whoever joins now will have the best terms. And when, Ross, please finish. I want to also comment on the next slide as well.
Yeah, so what Jean is trying to explain, that it is a benefit and it is your reward that you currently sitting in this room and hearing and listening to Ross and to Jean and to Anete. It is the reward to you that you currently hear that you can do 2.5x from the beginning. So token is not listed anywhere, but you did a 2.5x. And I think it is a great opportunity for you in this economic micro environment in the world. And with a lot of events that are currently happening. Please, Jean. Next slide.
Yes, next slide, please. Yes, I would like to emphasize, okay, this is the sale distribution. These are the packages. So when we say it's a 1 cent average price, look at the column before last, price per token. So of course, we have the packages from $10 to $15,000. And there are 3 packages for $15,000. I'm not sure, but I think 1 or 2 of them have already sold. And the price is 0.006, which means that when we say an average price of 1 cent, this is a 40% less than an average price. And why? Because for every package, there is a bonus tokens. So you're not just buying tokens, you're buying a package. And more package price you buy, more bonus tokens you have. So for $15,000 package, the bonus tokens are 100%. So you're not buying 1.177 million, but you'll be getting X2. That gives you the minimum possible price of the round. It will never go down on the primary sale of so that's the best terms that we have evaluated,
right,
and we have adjusted for the community.
Right.
Ross, please.
Yeah, it's exactly Anete and your community members answering the question why I need to buy the biggest package. Look, you will have a 100% as a bonus that you bought this package. And we already sell the first package from 3 and only 2 left. So someone catch this opportunity, and currently 2 left. Maybe after this webinar will be 0, right? So it is the opportunity to you to get these bonuses and to get the lowest price. Look, price per token, the biggest package for $15,000, 100% bonus, and the lowest price of the token, the lowest, right? So more token, more packages you buy, more discount and bonuses and better price you will get.
And also, please remember that starting from $25 and above, with every package, with not every package, but if you buy at least a 1 package of $25, you will be granted SOULB ID for free. If you buy 5 packages, you will also be granted 1 identity. So it doesn't matter how many packages you buy, you have to buy at least for $25 to qualify for your free SOULB ID. Yeah. Yes. Next slide, please. If we do have any questions here,
we will answer, I think, in the end. But guys, please write in the chat 10 if you understood why you need to buy their biggest packages, because you will get the bonuses, the better price. Put 10 if you understand what we mentioned. 10,
okay, good.
10.
Minus 10.
10 plus, 10.
I guess the question here is not even why you need to buy the biggest package, why would you need to participate in this project? That's the main question here, is because we have to end this webinar very soon, and there are loads of questions in the Q&A box, guys. But I would recommend for you to go and listen to this webinar once again, because there are loads of your questions that you have asked has been answered during the webinar. If you haven't heard your answer, maybe because you were focused on your question. So please go back to the recording once it's ready. It should be ready on YouTube. So once we finish, go back to this webinar and listen to it once again. And you will hear your answers, because lots of questions were answered. And you see, guys are already saying that they understand why they have to go for the biggest package. So it means they will understand why they would need to even participate in this project, right. What benefit they will get, how they can use your offering. But there are a few questions that are very important to answer, I guess, right now. The question is is there a limitation of the countries, of the citizens of different countries to participate in your project? Because what we have had in the past is that they, let's say people from Russia, they participate in the project and then they realize they won't be able to do anything with this asset that they have. What about your token?
That's a very good question. Look, when to answer this, we have to refer to the general policies, and the general policies, we can identify what is called the whitelisted countries, gray-listed countries, and blacklisted countries. For the white and the gray, we will accept all of them. For the blacklisted countries, we will accept none. And I'm not gonna mention all of the countries in the blacklist, but countries like Russia is in the blacklist. Countries like Afghanistan is in the blacklist. Countries like Botswana, Rwanda, those are also in the blacklist. We will publish the whitelisted countries, or probably the blacklisted countries, shortly. I will ask my team to prepare a list of countries which are blacklisted, so we share it in the SOULB Telegram community. Please join the Telegram. India is not, unfortunately, it's not a whitelisted country, it's called a gray listed. But yes, India is allowed. But look, that's a very good question. You are allowed to participate, to engage everything. But there are some security tokens, there's some security, especially from United States, that avoid Indian investors. So it's not about us, it's about our clients. Our clients may say, okay, we want only people from United States, from Switzerland, and from England, and that's it. So we have, but we provide the technology. So India, Kazakhstan, Venezuela, Bolivia, all these countries are either whitelisted or gray listed, but we will issue a blacklisted country list soon. Yes.
Yeah, Jean, let me correct you a little bit, right? Let's divide in two things. It is participation in the community token SOULB, right? And the second part, it is to get the identity. In respect of participation in our private round to buy our tokens, allowed all of the countries that are supported by CoinSet infrastructure, because we're running our private round first phase on the CoinSet infrastructure, and CoinSet company choose and decide what countries they are supporting, right? So maybe the countries like India, of course, yes, and Bolivia, you need to double check with CoinSet private cabinet if you allow, right? And the second part, to get the identity. For example, you can still be from Bolivia, for example, and you, for example, allow to buy on the private round the community tokens, but you will not able to convert it into their ID itself. You'll be able to sell to another man from, I don't know, from US, the utility token, or from France, so they can do the buy and get the identity, right? And this case, you will make the profit, the benefit, because you bought on the lows with a better terms if you from the gray listed countries or blacklisted, and then you sold for all of the guys who requested in the future from other countries. Please, Anete.
Yes.
All right, so I hope it is clear for people. So the question is like, if they are from Russia, and if Russia is in a blacklist, then there is no point at the moment, at least, to participate in this project. Correct or not?
Yeah, if they are from Russia, if community members are from Russia, and CoinSet supports their Russian jurisdictions to participate in the round, they will have the possibility. I don't know yet. You need to ask their CoinSet manager, because I am not the CoinSet company representative, right? But if they in the future the community members from Russia wants to convert it into the IDs, they will not allow so, because the Russia is currently in blacklisted countries. They will have the possibility to make profit on it because they bought on the lowest price and will be able to sold for all of the guys from other countries to buy the SOULB IDs, but they will not able to convert it in SOULB ID directly.
Okay.
Guys, first of all, thank you. There's a lot we can tell about the roadmap, but I think it's kind of static. So I don't want to cover the whole slide because it will take us another 20-30 minutes. I can tell a lot of this. What I kindly ask you to do, look at this roadmap. If you have any questions, you can address those questions to us in the community, send it to us, and we will answer on the next Q&A webinar, or we will answer just providing a Q&A page for that. But look, for us, SOULB, it's a complementary product, complementary business from this, within the Starbucks environment. And there's a lot of things that we have planned for Starbucks, for the tokenization, of course, for SOULB as an integral part of it. Can we have a next slide, please?
Yes, and we have to end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe do you have any additional questions, important questions? Because we are here and we are ready to answer till the end. If you have these questions that you noted, we are ready to answer. Maybe not all of them, of course, but only the important one.
Yeah, they're talking about the unlocking period. Richard was asking, above question is important to know the answer for. There are so many questions. I hope, let's see. So above question is important to know the answer for, because the next round will have a 6 months lockup period instead of 12 months. If all the tokens are minted at once next year and the start date of all lockup periods have the same date, this is an important thing to know. But which question above he is referring to, I am not sure.
Look, the first round lockup is 12 months. Why? Because these are the best price you can get on the digital, on our tokens. And this is logical because you go and get basically 6 times less. If you buy the top package at the 0.006 cents, that's 7 times less than a public round that will be in probably Q2 2023. So you already, people will already make 6x from the floor price that will start. So in order to kind of not allow people sell these tokens immediately, and this is a good practice, we have to protect ourselves and the interest of all the investors, not only the first ones. First ones they got the best terms, whatever. So the second will have the lockup of 6 months, but the price increase in 50%. But the public that will be in Q2, the IDO doesn't matter. The public will have not the best price, the public price, but they will be unlocked. And this is the trade-off between a locking period and the price of the token, because you can't have the best price and have it unlocked from the very beginning. It's nonsense. The tokenomics doesn't work. So we have to be very careful to protect our investors and token holders at every single stage, every single step of the the development of the SOULB PRE-SALE.
And we have not created the bicycle. It is not something unique. It is the common things in crypto, how the projects works, right? Why? Because it is logical and it is mathematical, logical, and tokenomics logical. That's why we do so.
Yep. Again, we will ask Anete to form these questions to send to us, and we will start preparing answers and share some answers with you on a paper form.
Yes, and also I have seen the question in the live chat if we can do a separate stream, especially for Q&A, for live Q&A. And of course, guys, we will synchronize with Anete, with Mila, with Armand, and we are not stopping, right? We will go through, we will schedule other webinars and to explain you and to continue explain different nuances, next questions, because as you may see, we have the expertise and perfect knowledge, and we're ready to answer all of them anytime. So we respect Anete time and the crypto unit stage, and we run out 15 minutes, right? But we will ask to schedule the next marketing activities, and we'll continue answering your questions. So what you have now the possibility to check your private cabinet, right, in the infrastructure of CoinSet and participate with the best terms of SOULB PRE-SALE.
Yes, exactly. We have run out of the time, and there are so many questions and so many I think we have answered already.
It is okay.
Yeah, but there are many that has still popped up, and unfortunately, we are not able to answer all of them today. But we will organize another webinar with the Q&A. So just watch the news section. We will hopefully maybe there is a possibility to organize something after the Christmas, because there are a few days, working days before the new year, and we will see you guys once again, and hopefully we can make it more clear. But that, again,
how much more clear can we make? That's a good question.
But I would recommend everyone to rewatch this webinar once again, because a lot of questions has been answered, the ones you have asked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is what I can say. All right, guys. And what I want to say is, like, no one is forced to do anything. You want to participate, you go for it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I think it has been made enough clear during this webinar that no one is forced to do anything you don't want, guys. It's your choice. Either you are part of the future, or you do your way, the usual way. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, exactly. You catch the moment and participate, or in the example, you sit at the home and don't travel.
Guys, I want to cheers everybody with upcoming winter holidays. And with upcoming new year, there's a lot of people around here, so I hope everything goes fine with you and your families, and I think we'll see each other already in 2023. But also join our Twitter, join our community, participate in Sweep Widget round, and join us. There's a lot of activity going every day. We never stop. But anyway, I think we will do the next webinar early next year.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everyone who participated, asked the questions.
Thank you, Anete.
Thank you,
Anete, for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anete. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.